everybody, welcome to Talk Speed Up. I am joined by Kbot Power and Taeyang. And today, also myself. I tried to go as fast as I can, Talk Speed Up. Thought it'd be a bit of a awkward one.
You really don't need to do that.
I thought it'd be good.
Don't.
I never tried it, but yeah.
That's just cringe to me.
Okay.
I appreciate the attempt.
Well, I tried my best. I thought it'd be fun, but I guess not. I'm never going to do anything fun again. But anyway, yeah, we're joined via Talk Speed Up, and this time I'm hoping it's not scuffed production-wise, but we are still a bit scuffed. I think we can go over it when we go through introductions. I'll start with myself. I'm now for this month Seepja, because it's Sim September. I have to, of course. And yeah, I'm joined by three lovely people. So if we want to go around from Kbot Power to Sun.
Yeah, what's up, everyone? Y'all know me. You can't really tell my facial features and everything because I'm currently sitting outside and I've got an umbrella propped up right in front of my computer here. So anyone walking by right now probably is really confused as they walk by. So why this guy is just talking into his computer or talking into an umbrella? But here we are. The Wi-Fi at the house is a little bit iffy right now. So this is what y'all get. And we'll go from there.
It's Power here. I played this game for ever since the beginning. I'm probably like a senior citizen compared to Splatoon players at this point, I think.
Hey, wait, hang on.
I've been around since.
You're in company that's also been playing around since the beginning of Splat 1.
We do have one non-senior citizen.
Only one Zoomer.
Hi guys, my name is Sun. Yeah, that's about it. I play for Sayonara.
Power, what team you play for? He plays for Slaughterhouse. All right, cool, good. Got that all out of the way. Jeez, you don't know how to do intros. Look, I'm allowed to meme around because I'm supposed to be like the host around here, but you guys are actually supposed to give yourself the intros. All right, enough of me being snarky and sarcastic. Let's actually hop into this thing. Ninja, what do we got first on the dock?
I think I'm 90% sure we are starting with the NA Open for some reason. Right, maybe we are a little scuffed on the production side, but it's fine. It's fine. For some reason the studio mode isn't working as I anticipated. But you know what? That's the fun of it. That's the fun of it. It can't be it got to be a little bit scuffed at the end of the day. But that's fine. That's fine. But either way, we're going to talk about the NA Open, and I think we've got a few things we want to talk about the NA Open because there's a lot of things to relate to it. So I think I'm going to start by asking just kind of it's a bit of a broad question. It might be a bit of a dead question, but I'm just going to ask it anyway. So, we had the patch about 2 weeks ago now, and after that patch, going into the NA Open, what sort of, compositions from scrims and stuff do you guys expect people to be playing in general, do you think? That's obviously very directed to Power and Sun, since you guys are the ones that are going to be playing in this tournament and been scrimming towards it, I'm assuming.
I don't think there's that much of a change besides people dropping the CDS. Maybe some people using more 52 gal, but besides that, I think comps are gonna stay pretty much the same.
Yeah, I agree. Mainly most of the scrims I've been playing, there's a lot more or less CDSs, but I've seen more K52 gals around, and yeah, that's about the only change I've seen.
Yeah, so I was actually curious about this because I was wondering if Kenza 52 would genuinely start to rise up because obviously it got the small buffs along with the shooter buffs, and I think I watched it. Oh no, I didn't watch In the Zone last time because I was playing in it and then I had to do stuff. But yeah, I didn't get to see In the Zone and see if Kenza 52 was used there. But I'm really curious. So, do you guys think it actually will be used by teams? And and where do you think it would be if it's going to be used?
I think it'll actually be used. I think part of it's people never looked at Kenza 52 as a good weapon. So then now they see the buffs. So then they're like, okay, let's try it out. And now they realize it's actually not that bad. So I think something like Kelp Dome, which is in the map list, by the way, Kelp Dome Clan Blitz.
Yeah, okay. That's in the map list, sure.
But yeah, so some a map like that, you could see it for sure.
For me, I think it's pretty insane now. I think it definitely needed that buff to be strong. Its wall, I swear it never dies. I throw a bomb, it's just still there. What the fuck, bro? What am I supposed to do? I'm just dead. There's nothing I can do. Take a 1v1, you're dead. It paints Booyah Bomb really fast. It paints really well. Its sustainability is really strong with that wall, like I said. Just tanks 2 bombs. It's crazy, man. Unless I'm just bad, but I don't know,
Yeah.
man.
I mean, I've been missing out. I've not really been scrimming much this week. I've not really been able to, try and get some sort of idea. But yeah, Ken's 52, so I thought it definitely looked interesting, but I'm surprised to hear that it's doing so well. I don't know what you think about Kbot, but I definitely didn't expect it to be have such high reputation as it does right now.
Yeah, I think coming out of the patch, right, you look at it and you're like, all right, so like, is this actually gonna okay, cool. It got a little bit of a buff, and sure, it's gonna get people to try it. But I guess looking back on it, and even what I was thinking about a second ago, there's a reason why that sort of a weapon was strong at the end, towards the end of Splat 1, right? And sure, it was often favored in 96, but 52s and 96 were your standard splatter shots or something like that, right? We didn't really see 10 attack. I mean, you saw that a little bit, but there wasn't an NZAP, right? So I think that as we're looking towards how this game is continuing to develop, and once we start getting these weapons that can start slowing things down and overall just being even more of a nuisance, right? If there's a new way to be a nuisance on the map, you can see teams that are going to start attracting to that. And it sounds like from our 2 experts over here, that's kind of what we're seeing out of the 52 right now. So it's definitely going to be interesting to see how that one evolves as we head into now another major tournament. And sure, it's not going to be a international tournament, but at the very least, there's going to be a lot of North American teams. Nearly every single North American team always comes out for these things, and so definitely going to be interesting to see exactly where it ends up and how it all shakes out.
Yeah, I mean, I think apart from Ken's 52, I'm pretty surprised to see that you guys don't think that Bamboozler or Brella are going down at all. I guess because I mean, I think Bamboozler makes sense, but Brella I thought would at least get hurt a little bit more, maybe. But
I think it's because, in general, NA never really uses Brella that much, so you don't really see it.
Yeah.
We really only have 2 players.
Yeah, I was about to say. There's 2 or 3 players that I could think of at towards the top level right now that would actually use Brella, and otherwise, you just don't see that. And the bamboo has always been something, or for a while has been something that's been strong, right? In just being a little bit more of a mobile weapon that you've seen a lot of people default to for clams and things like that. So maybe that's something that Power can talk on a little bit more.
Yeah, I think the one shot's still there, obviously, which is what people complain about. The ink efficiency hurts a little bit, but you could tack on a couple subs and you're fine, pretty much.
Yeah.
I still think with the 52 guy, you could do the wall and you could stall out more. So I guess that little matchup there that kind of affects the bamboo. So it's not dead, but it's still a solid weapon to pick for sure.
Okay. I mean, I think that I wouldn't mind. I don't know about what you guys think about this. If they made just 2 more subs MPU to Bamboo to get a full one shot, I feel like it'd be fairly okay then. Because when you combine that with the main saver nerf, can't really make up for the fact you've lost the main saver. You're forced to lose the shots if you want the one shot, or you're forced to lose other abilities. I still think Bamboo would be good at that point, but I don't think it'd be as ridiculous potentially. I think that's a nice minor change they could make to potentially bring it a bit more in line with the other weapons, but I don't know if you guys think that would just do nothing or.
Yeah, I like that because you can pretty much revert the nerf with 2 subs of Inksaver main and nothing really happened. So that for sure.
All right, so
cool. Yeah, I mean, I figured we might as well move along here, right? And so we talked a little bit about the patch, of course. For those of you that might not be aware, or those of you living in Europe right now, the next North American online open is this Sunday, is the Ink Pools qualification stage, and then top 4 will take place on the, 13th? Next week on Sunday. So coming up very soon here, I'd like to hear your 2 thoughts is teams that have been struggling to find their place towards the top right now. One of the things is that we've seen signs of light from both of your guys' teams in Slaughterhouse and Sayonara, and I feel like you guys just haven't made your mark right now. So I guess how are you feeling heading into either how are you feeling with scrims this week? How are you heading into this tournament? And what kind of is your mindset? What are your goals maybe as we look on forward? So Power, will go to you first.
I just read something in the chat. My bad.
Oh, okay.
For Slaughterhouse going into the open, we're gonna be playing with Simo subbing in for Soldiers, so it's a lineup we don't have much practice with. I think recently we as of Inkstorm we've been getting better, and we've been like trying to like just keep going with that. But even with like Simo replacing Soldier, I think we're still gonna be able to like keep like what we've been working on like the past month, and I like our chances like getting into top 4 in finals, and if we get there, then it's like who knows what's gonna fucking happen.
So you're saying you don't feel confident beating FT and winning it? Is that what you're saying?
I do feel confident.
Okay,
like,
okay.
It's finals. Like,
Okay.
When you're in finals, anything happens, man.
Okay.
I'd say the data say otherwise. Anyway, Sun, what do you got from the CyNR perspective here? I know you guys have also got under some roster changes recently, so maybe if you could shine some light on what exactly is going on there and what some of the philosophy is. You know, what's been clicking so well with DJ?
With DJ, what we couldn't do with like Charger and Not, it was just like to be honest, like our Charger player and our Not player just had 2 different like play styles, and with such a slow comp and no like special utility to use, it was really hard because if we staggered, because the Charger player was very aggressive and the Not player was more passive, and so we couldn't really cover for each other. But with the change of Burning playing more and DG coming in, you know, understanding when to push in, you know, just the whole aggro comp, like we can just play around each other like way better than we could. But to be honest, for the NA Open, I'm not expecting something like that great, to be honest. We're still like trying to like figure out what we want to do. We've been experimenting with comps lately, like you know, Bagel and Xplosher, or like Burning, trying to find his place as a frontliner. You know, Neo Splash, K Shot, K Pro, things like that. And but I do think we have a good chance of making it to top 4 or even finals. I think the progress we've made has been really good. So
Yeah, I mean,
for us.
sorry, yeah, Kbot, if you want.
I mean, also the other thing, like, let's take a real quick side tangent before we come back to this. You mentioned Bagel and Xplosher. What's the deal with Xplosher now? Like, why am I seeing that? And why would you put Bagel, who's insane playing the Nautilus? Why would you put him on the Xplosher?
One day we were screaming, and he was like, "Son, please let me play Xplosh. Trust me." I'm like, "Okay, whatever." And yeah,
I mean,
he just likes the Xplosher, so he's playing it.
I think it makes some sense for like a lot of situations. I say especially zones. Like zones is where I think it's like the Xplosher mode. I don't really want to see people pulling out Xplosher on Rainmaker. I mean, unless that's why you're pulling it out, in which maybe I'm completely wrong, but I definitely don't want to see Xplosher being put out on Rainmaker. I think, you know, Nautilus is definitely a weapon where I'd say one of its weakest factors is it doesn't paint the entire map instantly. You know, it's not going to be a junior, it's not going to be a Zap. I think if you already have 3 players that are good at just holding forwards and playing aggressively, you already like kind of have that. I think if Bagel's got like a nice Xplosher, having that just like have more paint, having a lot of zone contest, it makes a lot of sense. I think. I think that'd be really nice to see actually. So we'll have to see if we see the Bagel Xplosher. But yeah, that'd be interesting.
I mean, don't boost his ego right now.
okay. I'm never saying he's gonna be good with it. I said I want to see it. You know.
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Are you saying he's not good with it, son?
I mean, you should have seen yesterday. I mean, I'm just saying.
Was it in the zone when you guys pulled that out? And I was like, oh, I don't know if I like this look. What tournament? I feel like it was a tournament lately, unless it was just scrims that I was watching.
We played in, what was it? The league.
Oh, the league. That's right.
And then like CDS VDS tournament.
Yeah, I think it was the league on the Friday night that I saw Bagel pull out the Xplosher. I was like, do I like this look? Like, I was like,
yeah. It was when he told me that, I said a flat no, and then he begged me. So, yeah.
I guess the other thing, kind of, Son, the other thing you were talking about was like going back to like an aggressive playstyle, and that's something that, like, if you remember, like when I think of like peak Sayonara, I'm thinking of like Genesis 7 contesting FT win Sayonara. When you guys were playing with Ant and you were like just being completely aggressive in your face, almost like a current Han run sort of a style. Is that kind of the style you're going back to try to emulate it right now? Now that you don't necessarily have that anchor of Q kind of sitting there on the backline?
Yeah, definitely. I kind of always wanted this type of play style because I just felt like, you know, we're gonna have like 2 shooters, right? A slosher and a not, and we're just able to enable Bagel and DJ like free wins. That's it. You know, like we all know
Yeah.
Bagel's insane on that knot. Don't tell him I said that. But
we all know it. We all know it. Like
I mean,
that's just
this
a fact
guy.
at this point. That's not like that's not up for debate.
Yeah, you're right. I just, I hate this kid Bagel. I hate him. Anyway, and DJ, insane. We all know him. Insane slosher. So, basically, I'm just painting for armor, right? Armor up, easy wins. That's about it. End of story. Of course, there's more to that, but really, most of the plays in this scene is just from armor now. So,
true.
I mean, I think my favorite look of you guys back when you did play with Q was when she was playing Junior. I don't dislike Q's Charger. I think she's a very strong Charger player. I just don't really like Naught Charger that much. I feel like a team that's playing with a Naught and a team that's playing with a Charger kind of don't want to play in the same sort of way. Like, I really like how FT Win play. I like how FT Win have the Charger plus machine, and then they normally have Charger machine, some sort of support and shooter. I really, really like that because they're able to kind of just send Kyo in and have Biscuit then follow up. In TLDR, I don't want to spend on 9 years talking about how to do in play, but I've always really liked that playstyle. I think that sort of way of playing with Naught, I definitely prefer to having that Charger, because I don't think it can help as much as a weapon with armor or another shooter going with it.
Yeah, I
Right.
definitely think like Charger
Go
has
ahead, Power.
a play style. Wait, what?
Go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, I think Charger has like its own, like, you need to kind of tailor a team towards like a Charger play style, but if you have a Naught in the mix too, it's kind of just like doing a little bit too much different things with your team comp. So I can see why it doesn't work as well.
I think one thing I also wanted to bring up when Powell was saying it, but then I just completely forgot until now, was that I think I would really like to see Slaughterhouse perform well, because I mean I don't want to just like fanboy for Power right now, but it's a roster that I've always liked the players, and I feel like I look at the roster and I'm like, I really, really like this roster of players. I think they can do really well. I feel like they've never quite made the result that makes me go, wow, that's like an insane result. But I feel like they've always kind of had that roster that could get the result. So I'd really like to see it happen at some point. But I think Simo, I'm sure he'll be able to fill in well. I mean, Simo's sick of the game.
Yeah, he's alright.
As long as he turns up to scrims and doesn't watch basketball. I was watching the stream yesterday or something like that, and that happened.
Oh my god. And I was like a whole other thing. Like, he had practice, he got canceled, but then he said like, I could play at 8 Eastern. But then I asked him, dude, we're scrimming right now. Oh, I meant 8 PST. Like 3 hours later. Oh my god.
Bit of a Simo moment.
That's a Simo moment for sure.
By the way, that's the same Simo that was confused on whether or not his driver's license would be an acceptable form of ID for badge pickup at Genesis 7. Just gonna throw that one out there.
That's funny.
Same kid. Okay, so I think we talked plenty about Slaughterhouse and Sayonara. But as we look at the rest of the teams, when you think of like the top North American teams, is there anything going into this tournament that is surprising you, or something that like we wouldn't have expected looking at the same teams about a month ago? So like whether that's like things that are going into scrims, like is there a team that's significantly stronger? Is there a team that seems to be like a little bit on the weaker end? Where is that kind of figuring out? Or do my seeding job for me, because I'm going to need all the help I can get. What? I assume that FT Win are still the favorites. I mean, I don't really know if you guys have any scrim practice against them right now, but what exactly? Who are we expecting to come out on top here?
I mean, obviously, like I still think FT Win's favorites because they're like 5-time whatever champs. I can't, you gotta knock them out.
Hard to argue.
You gotta knock them out first before you could like underestimate them. But I don't know. I played against, I think, Hanron, some of Supernova, but now they have Juan, so I don't think I played against that roster yet. I don't know. It doesn't seem too different from like previous NA Opens.
That's kind of the vibe I'm getting too. Son, what are your overall thoughts?
Well, lately, yeah, I feel like it's gonna be the same, but like Supernova, I've been scrimming them a lot, or more frequently, I guess. But definitely with the change of like adding Zero and Juan playing together is like it's a pretty big threat in my opinion. They're both really good frontliners, and especially if they just have Kara on the support now, or like what H3D, Zap, whatever, and just have you know, another shooter to fill up like Kotetsu or like not sorry, Arashi or not Kotetsu or Bamboo Kotetsu. It's like I feel like they're a much bigger threat because you know, the more aggressive playstyle is obviously more catered to Zero and Juan. So as long as they support him, I feel like they'll be pretty threatening this time around.
I'm not gonna lie, I completely missed Juan during Supernova. I feel like
today.
it was news today. Okay,
Yeah.
see, as much as I spam people's Twitter timelines, as you guys will see, that I post a lot on Twitter. I don't actually scroll through Twitter much. Like, I don't actually see a lot on Twitter. Despite the amount I post there, I don't actually see a lot of what goes on Twitter. Apart from, you know, the stuff everyone sees. But yeah, I think Juan during Supernova is really, really, really nice. I've always thought that he was you know, a really strong player. I always thought that Zero was like a perfect addition for this team. I felt like, you know, it was kind of exactly what they needed back when Zero got added. I feel like Juan really like enables that. Again, I think like it's as Sun said, you have, as long as you have like Chara playing the supportive roles, you have Juan and Zero being able to go really aggressive, and then something like a Bamboo Naught kind of backline with Kotetsu. I think that would be a really, really solid roster. I'd like to see you know, how they can do.
Okay, so first of all, two things. One, on the serious point, we saw where Supernova was. Like, there was a long time, and I missed my opportunity on a WOC for this, but nonetheless, there was a long time where Supernova and Slaughterhouse were like right there, right next to each other. Like, you guys were kind of going like game for game back and forth, and that was kind of fun to watch. It was like, all right, so maybe these two teams could actually start grinding up and grinding together. And then Supernova added Zero, and they just got like kicked up another notch. And now, sorry, Power, love you.
No. I have my own thing to say.
Okay,
go on.
So they picked up Zero, they kicked up a notch. Now they're picking up One. I imagine they're going to kick up another notch here. So it's going to be interesting for me to see exactly how they perform in this tournament, or maybe not even this tournament, but looking forward into other events in the future, how exactly they come through. All right, Power, go ahead and rebuke whatever I just said.
All right, I'll give you that they definitely are a better team now than before, for sure. Now they have Juan. We haven't played against Juan. I think even with their roster with Zero, that like we could still go back and forth. Even though the result didn't show it, but I
was about to say
the result didn't show it, but I played the match. I talked about it with my teammates. We definitely felt like it could have gone the other way.
All right.
So yeah, we'll see in the open. I want to fight them.
I feel like
I know a guy that might be able to make that happen. By the way, Ninja, go ahead.
I was just say, regardless of them adding Zero, I feel like Supernova has been a team though that has also I feel like I've seen a bit from Slaughterhouse, but definitely Supernova. They feel like they can be kind of an all. God, I can't think of a good way. Okay, I'm gonna say the most nerdy way possible because that I heard a Pokemon caster say it like this one time, and it's the only way I can think of it. They're like a sine curve team, right? So sometimes I see them like they're like right at the top. They're like just rolling, like pretty much everyone apart from FT Win because you don't roll FT Win. They're really, really good. And then I feel like you'll look at the next tournament and they'll go out in round 2 to maybe a good team, but you know, like not amazing. Like maybe a really strong +2 pickup. But that's still a really strong +2 pickup isn't what Supernova should be losing to. I would say they've definitely not had the same inconsistencies recently. But I definitely say it's something that has been seen before, in my opinion. I don't know if everyone agrees with that, but I definitely feel like I've seen them choke and like I'd say lose sets that they shouldn't lose. It's like they've lost to teams that I know they're better than, but they just lose it for whatever reason it is.
And I think, you know, I mean, this is even something that like I think a lot of teams at the higher level are struggling with, at least lately, with a lot of roster changes we're actually coming in. I mean, think about the Supernova issue, right? Where like they were kind of going under a little bit of changing rosters. Now look at Sayonara, right? I mean, even you guys and your Inkstorm run was not to the point that we would expect you guys to have an Inkstorm run, right, son?
Yeah, it was just something.
Yeah, but like to be fair, that was also like your first real tournament with that core, right?
Yeah.
So like I think that like maybe this tournament won't be it from Supernova, but as we start moving forward, maybe they'll show up at a in a future NA Open or something like that. And we'll have to see. I mean, the other team that we haven't talked about is Hanron, right? Because that roster, first of all, you never know who exactly is going to show up on any given day. I'm pretty sure that the core Hanron roster is going to be playing this time around under the name Starburst. So I think that's going to be like Ant, Bran, Jared, and
Ice.
Yeah.
Ice. Yeah. So that core is probably going to be playing the same. Like that's a team that has like almost every single time gotten second. Or like in recent memory, when I think about that team, that's the team that gets second place in these NA Opens, right? So I think maybe they'll hold on to it this time around. Maybe we'll start to see other teams come up rising. I think it's going to be a certainly fun tournament to watch. So yeah.
I mean, they did get second to Supernova and the Turf War Open, so yeah.
True.
I mean,
true.
I would actually...
and one of those games, by the way, was because they didn't paint their own base.
Oh, didn't see that. But I mean,
That really happened? That actually happened. Did they paint their own base?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, there's actually the Come On Kiver account, the like images that precede good/bad Splatoon events page. If you go on that account, there's actually the image that shows game 1 of that grand final set. It's a best of 3, by the way. Game 1 of the grand final set, there is like none of the Hanron base inked, or like they didn't do nearly as good of a job of covering everything, and they lost the game pretty much because of it, which was really funny. But anyway, you don't need to paint the base when we're talking about ranked modes here, so that's going to be a non-issue.
I'm not going to lie, that just sounds like the most Hanron thing ever to me. When I think of Hanron, I think of, like, people that, they're not, like, they don't try hard, they just come on and they play the game, they scrim every now and then, they have fun, they're always perma shit-talking. And then they're like, paint the base, I CBA paint the base, you're gonna run into their spawn and kill everyone and wipe them out. And then they lose the game because they didn't paint their base. I'm not gonna lie, that does seem like the most Hanron thing that could happen to them in a tournament, but, I think, talking about teams, if we're, like, moved past the, I think we've kind of gone through all the top teams, the 5 you'd expect. What is it? So FT Win, Hanran, Supernova, Sayonara, and Slaughterhouse. What are you guys expecting to see, like, right below that? The up-and-coming, the dark horses or the sleeper pick team. So the Sonders, the Desires. I'm trying to think of other NA teams, but I'm not good at this. But what teams are, like, have you scrimmed out against or standing out to you? Do you think could, like, make a run or an upset potential?
Sonder. That's about it.
Anyone have to be Sonder. They've been practicing most against like the +1 teams out of all the others.
Josh got the +1 access after begging enough, so now they got the good scrims.
The real question is Sonder actually going to show up to this tournament? Because like they never play. Like I keep waiting for Sonder to have their breakthrough tournament, and then they only enter like a tournament every 3 months, and it's like, well, what? Like where are they?
Oh, I know. You can ask him actually.
So, I mean, is that the only, like, sleeper pick you guys have? I mean, fair enough it is. I'm just genuinely curious. Because, I'm sure that could definitely be a divide. I was just wondering if you guys thought any other team could make a run. But, I mean, Sonder definitely is a good shout. I mean, I think Synapse is probably very happy that 52 is doing so well right now. Definitely someone that's been playing it for a long time, regardless of what people think of it. So, yeah.
Yeah, I wish I could think of another team that could possibly upset, like, the 5 up there. But I think that Sonder has like the most chance of doing it.
The next team I would expect to come in right below is like a second Hanron roster, because that's at least what they did for Brainstorm. Is they had 2 rosters. Like the second one was like Sufi. Who else was on that roster? Key, Apple,
and it was like Creamy and this Charger player that's really good too.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
But like, I would expect some form of like a second Hanron roster probably to come through and show up and perform like just about that level. Other than that, like, there's probably not a ton of teams that are going to be able to break through, I think, to like the top 4. It would be fun to see. It would be fun to watch someone prove me wrong, but I don't know. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I feel like, I mean, I think the biggest upset potential is How long does Turf War go on for this tournament? That's my question. Is it till top 16, 8?
No,
or...
it doesn't exist.
Wait,
it
Turf War
doesn't
doesn't exist?
There's no turf?
Wait, does
To
Power
my
not even...
knowledge, there's no turf. It's the same as the NA Open rules from the last event. So it's all ranked modes for the whole thing. It was the same for the last one too.
Let's go.
Right.
I hate turf war.
I didn't even know that. I literally didn't even know that. I was going to ask if you guys had been screwing Turf War, but I mean,
They're
for
going to be
example,
screwing Turf War soon though.
yeah, they're going to be screwing Turf War soon. Definitely, after a few things happening. But I mean, no Turf War. So that's pretty good because I'm not gonna lie. I was expecting because was it Supernova that one time that lost to a not great team because of Turf War or something like that, and I definitely could see that happening to another team. I forgot who it was, but some team lost in Turf War really early on.
Yeah, I think there's always one team like every NA Open that chokes the turf war part a little bit.
Yeah, it's pretty
Either
funny.
chokes the turf war part or chokes the checking in part. Ahem.
Yeah. I wonder who that could be, honestly. Like,
I've seen it happen multiple times.
All right. I feel like that's everything covered on the NA Open side, unless there's anything else you guys want to talk about at all NA Open related. Teams, players, weapons, literally anything NA Open related.
the prizes.
Oh, yes.
So we get ARMS, Smash Bros, and Mario Tennis. I have one of those games.
Which one? Smash?
Yeah, Smash.
Yeah.
I do not have ARMS. I played it once. Not my thing. Mario Tennis actually sounds legit, but I kind of feel bad for FT Win. If they like,
because we know they're gonna win again.
If they win again and they just get the same thing again, like I'm pretty sure they're gonna do something different. Like it was like
They're probably. I would imagine they would give them something different. I mean,
give us
obviously I don't know.
Nintendo coins.
At this point,
Nintendo Gold points.
At this point, just get Nintendo to give them cash. I don't know, just anything. You know, not Mario Tennis and ARMS. ARMS for the 98th time. They really just like have so many spare. Like, if it was physical, then I'd say they'd just try to get rid of stock at this point. But I mean, I can't make that argument. It's not physical. But
Yeah.
yeah. I mean, unless you have anything else you want to go over, son, then I think I'm probably going to go on to the next topic now. Which will be. Interrupt me if you do. Alright. It's updating midway because, you know, we're a little bit scuffed, but, you know, scuffed is fun.
Scuffed speed up, by the way.
It's like a reveal, you know. As you see me type it, you get to see the reveal of what it's going to be. That's the fun of it, guys. And you get to see me align it to center, right, as well.
Hopefully the stream isn't breaking, by the way.
No, I believe the stream isn't breaking today.
Better not be. Just saying.
Alright, but, sorry, yeah.
Cool. So I'd say that's probably about a good spot to start.
Yeah.
Stop the whole NA Open discussion. Be sure to be on the lookout for that. I will probably make a tweet or two about it when we get to the finals weekend, but obviously won't be tweeting out because I will be busy helping all of the people in Help Desk. So stay tuned for that. That's happening this coming Sunday and the Sunday after. So be on the lookout for that. Nintendo Versus for more updates on Twitter.
All right. So as you guys can now see, because I need to sort out studio mode properly, the next topic will be the title is Splatoon vs Other Scenes. Now this was suggested by the very own Power_Splat2, so that's who you need to DM if it goes horribly. Not if it goes well, only if it goes terribly. But basically, so I think all of us here follow Valorant to some degree. We're all, you know, kind of big into that scene right now. I personally watch a lot of Overwatch. I think we just wanted to talk about, you know, like how the competitive Splatoon scene kind of operates compared to how the Valorant scene might, or how this and that and that. So I don't know if anyone wants to open at all.
Yeah. I guess just a general thing. Sure, let's go. I just think a general thing, not even if you look at, you don't even have to look at competitive Valorant or anything. Just like if you play Valorant and you just queue up with random people, there's people that just, I don't know, they kind of demand you to voice chat if you're doing ranked battles or something. And Splat, it's like, there's like +2 or something, +2 and +1. And even there where it's supposed to be, I guess, the highest form of competitive for us, there's still times where people just don't voice chat at all. And it's like, the communication, there's like much different communication there compared to us, for sure.
Yeah, I think it's that's something I can relate to from Overwatch because I scrim. I always say to people when I say I scrim Overwatch, I scrim Overwatch if imagine that I'm on like a Div 6 or a Div 7 team, right? I'm not saying I'm good at Overwatch. I just scrim it because it's fun to scrim. It's fun to be competitive, even if I am complete arse at the game. But you know, it is pretty fun to still scrim. But I think one thing that I find crazy is that voice chat thing you said. Like the idea of going into an Overwatch scrim or tournament with 5 out of 6 people voice chatting instead of 6 out of 6 people is completely absurd. Like that's just like ridiculous. Like in my head, that just seems like crazy to me. There's no way that we would scrim with someone if they said they can't voice chat. But then you have, I mean, in Splatoon you have players like Ant. Ant is an absolute beast at the game. He has a long list of results, and I don't think, has he ever VC'd in an online tournament? Like I don't know if he has at all.
He didn't even
like,
VC at G7.
He didn't even VC at G7.
Like, he was like, he had his headset on, but he never spoke.
Yeah,
not a single thing came out of him.
I mean, yeah, that's why I find that so weird, and I feel like it's because of. I think the main reason is probably because of the game itself, the ideas it puts on you. Where you know, in Overwatch and Valorant, of course, there's voice chat. In Splatoon, there isn't, so you don't really have that idea. But I don't know. I think it's mad that you know, if you scrim in +2, sometimes you enter some tournaments, you don't have people voice chatting. I think that's a really that's a great first point. I find it. Honestly, I wish that more people voice chat in Splatoon because it can add so much to scrims. It can add so much to the level of scrims. I hate it when you're like scrimming a team of 4 really good players, and it will be difficult because they'll be able to win their fights, but then they'll end up throwing because they do something completely stupid because none of them are coordinating. And it's like I just want to be able to play with 4 people that are voice chatting against 4 people voice chatting every time, every single time.
Yeah, same, dude.
Yeah. Yeah, I think. Sorry, yeah.
Well, I think that's the other thing, right? Where like, you know, why do we say communication is important? Communication is important because otherwise, how are you going to be coordinated, right? And like, truth be told, you're not doing anything with your voice, right? Like, you don't even have to like try to spam the one of 2 like command prompts in the game, like this way or booyah or whatever, right? Like, it's about communicating exactly like thoughts in a coherent manner, and maybe. In a future episode, that could be something that we try to dive into a little bit more is what are callouts like? Why are callouts the way they are? You know, what makes good callouts? You know, to have that competitive aspect, you know, to figure out exactly how to be the best. And I don't know if maybe that's something we even want to touch on now, right? Like, why is that communication so important?
I mean, I think just a little bit from what I've noticed is like from doing pickups and like +2, +1, people would just be like, most of the communication that happens there's like, oh, this guy's there, this guy's there, this guy's wherever position. And as for me, it's like, okay, that's like nice info, but people don't really, you know, talk about like how they want to push something or how they want to push this or do this now, you know, that kind of thing.
I think it's like the part of that is you know, it's kind of hard, right? Because, you know, most teams have like a dedicated shot caller. In most cases, in my opinion, I'm pretty sure most teams have a, you know, dedicated shot caller where, you know, they call like, oh, we should push this, or like, you know, whatever they want to do to gain advantage, or they're losing neutral. How can we back that up? But like, you know, if 4 random people are coming together, it's like, I don't know, like it just feels like who should do that, or should just one person just step it up and do it themselves for the team? Like,
yeah.
It's just like, I understand your point. Yeah, I understand your point of view, but it's just like 4 people are coming together, and it's just, you know, you're just there in the moment. So, I don't think like they really care about the shot calling as much as when they're together with their own team.
Yeah.
Sorry, do you want to go Power?
Oh no, I was gonna say
yeah.
like, yeah, it makes sense because like team environment's more focused than like pickup stuff.
And the other thing with like pickups, real quick, the other thing with pickups +1 or +2 is that those are most of the time just meant as an alternative for solo queue, less than like, you know, actually trying to practice team coordination and the like, right? So perhaps some of that is also understandable.
But I kind of wish that it wasn't just a substitute for solo queue. Like, if I want to play solo queue, if I want to play uncoordinated games, then I'd rather just play solo queue. Like, when I'm doing +3 scrim, when I'm doing plus whatever scrim, I want to, like, try and play at a good level of scrimming where people are coordinating, we're playing good comps. That's another thing, when people are just picking, like, I've had, like, so many +2 scrims where I have, like, Carbon plus Lunar on my team, and it's like, why am I playing with Carbon plus Lunar on my team? Like, I don't want this at all. Like, it's just not fun to experience, but I think when it comes to shot calling as well, I think something that might happen in other games, especially like the one I'm thinking of right now is Overwatch, but not Splatoon, is there's no really like role that people think of, like, oh, this role's always shot calling. So when I look at Overwatch, for example, there's very, very little teams that ever have their DPS players shot calling. They mainly want their DPS players just to be able to, focus on the mechanics, focus on, they'll give information callouts, but they're not going to tell people what to do. It's pretty much, I think like 90% of teams, I'd say, have their main tank or their main support player shot calling, where they can kind of see what their team's doing. They're, like, the main support and main tank will either play like kind of near the back or with a certain individual, or like be making the engages, right? So I think it makes a lot of sense for them to be the ones calling the initiations, calling when to go in. But I wouldn't say there's really a role in Splatoon where it's like, oh, this role's always making the initiation, always making the engage. Or maybe there is, and maybe those roles should be the ones shot calling. Like, I suppose that's why I'm rambling a lot, but I just kind of a thought came into my head. I suppose that's why Kyo works as such a good shot caller for FT Win, actually, is because he is normally the one engaging when he's playing K Machine. He's the one that is taking the initiative to walk forward. So I think people should try and look towards the roles that are taking the initiations to be the ones to shot call, I guess, is what I'd really like to see.
Is that the armor player in this meta?
I think to initiate, I don't know. I think it depends on your team comp. It completely depends on your team comp, I think. I think if you have a 10 player, it could very easily be the 10 player, right? I think, I think on Clan Blitz, you definitely want a 10 player to be a shot caller. But I think on FT Win, it being their machine player makes sense, because the way their style is, they normally have Kyo initiating, I think. But it could be like a Tetra player for a team, right? I could definitely see a Tetra kind of trying to make the first initiation, make the first engagement, trying to throw people off, and then he can call that he's initiating and call for other people to then come with him.
Power, Sun, thoughts?
I know there was a point where people were like, charger or backline players usually they're staying in the back so they can see everything, so they should be the ones doing those kinds of calls. But there's also like the frontline player, like Matt said, the initiator, who knows probably knows better than the charger back there, like the timing when you want like your armor or your missiles to go out. So I do think like the initiator for sure, probably a good shot caller.
Yeah.
Right now, actually, I'm the shot caller for Sayonara. It's like, I don't know. In my opinion, I always thought like, oh, if, like right now, if the armor user has armor, and they're just shooting their gun, right, just painting, whatever they're doing, just painting for armor, like, you'll, in my opinion, like I'm watching out like what's a neutral, what advantage we're kind of in, like, oh, are we losing mid, or like what section of the map are we losing? Is someone out of place? Is someone overextending? Like, I just feel like that's kind of my job as a support player. I'm not a real support player. You guys all know this. Like, I'm a K-shot player, but I play Zap for my team. But like, so if I'm doing my job wrong, I'm sorry. Apologize. But yeah, I feel like it's just way easier for the support player to do it, because all he's doing is just painting, looking around, seeing what's going on, and like, oh, he can just make the calls. But yeah, I do agree, like the initiator could also make the call, because he's actually the one who's taking the engagements and going in, just being in their face. So I just feel like it could go both ways, in my opinion. A shot caller being the support, or like one being the initiator, the frontliner. So
I think that makes
it weird.
You go.
Okay. I think it's weird because, like, again, also like the backline could do it too. They might see something that like the people up front don't see, so then they might have to change like what you guys are up doing. So I guess that's what makes Splatoon kind of blurry on who does it or not.
Yeah, I mean, I think that the idea of the support player doing it is actually also a very good point, because I think when I've played support for most teams, I normally am also shot calling. Just like I also think that might be due to the fact that I just like to shot calling games. But I think that is a good point, and it also kind of brings me back to the like similarities that you can draw between Overwatch. Of course, you guys might not get it if you don't play it, but the two main shot callers will either be the main tank or the main support, and the main support is kind of the same idea as a a junior player, where you hold. So if you're playing Lucio, it could be like Ink Armor. You'll have the speed boost. You'll use speed boost to help your team get forwards in the same way you use armor. You might not be the Winston jumping in and getting in people's faces like a K-Machine or a Tetra, but you can still call to do it. After you've used the speed boost. So I think honestly, both work really well. I wouldn't. I definitely would say that I agree with your earlier argument that I don't really want. I wouldn't really want a backline shot calling. I feel like that if you're playing Charger, you're not going to see everything. You're not going to see the perfect times to initiate or engage. You don't have, a special that you're going to initiate with, unless you're calling like, I'm going to use my Stingray, do this now. But that's, that doesn't mean you're always shot calling. You're always the in-game leader. You're just, giving one piece of information and giving one time you can do it. I think that's another thing. You don't always need one hard in-game leader. It doesn't always need to be this guy. Maybe they can't in-game lead for a certain situation in whatever's going on, or the composition. So.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah,
sorry. No,
I was just about to say, I think that's probably valid. Again, it probably depends on the exact team's play style. It probably depends on the exact team's personalities, right? It probably depends on, who the mode that you're playing, right? So in the case of like, maybe on tower control, maybe that's something that a backliner can maybe help with a little bit more. You mentioned clay blitz. Maybe that's something a Umbrella player comes out for. Whereas if it's Rainmaker or Splat Zones and you're trying to push back and leap on forward, maybe that's your front line that's trying to make that call to move on forward. So, and like I said, I think it's also a personality thing too, right? Like Ninja, you mentioned that you're, one of the people that likes being the shot caller, but from what I've gotten to know of you, you're more of that loud and aggressive person, right?
Yeah.
On the team. You're not the one that's just going to sit back and like expect something to happen, right? You're the one that wants to be proactive. You're the one that wants to dive in there. You're the one that wants to make those plays. So, I think that's also something to kind of think about is, what kind of players do I have on my team personality wise? And are they going to feel confident in order to make those decisions moving on forward?
Yeah, for sure. I think. Do you guys have anything else you wanted to note on shot calling or in-game or calls in general? Because if not, then I think power. Okay. I think something that else I'm going to note that I find weird is we don't organize our some people organize their scrims, but it's not like set. So the way that I think pretty much every other team does their scrims is they'll have a scrim channel in a Discord. But instead, they'll say. Pretty much everyone will say scrim at like 8 o'clock Central European, and that's like everyone for 2-hour blocks at 8 o'clock European, and everyone has that scrim block. Some teams go a bit hour before or later, but in this game it's just like at here scrim now, and then at here scrim now. I wondering if you guys think there's pros or cons. I think one thing we do have is you can kind of find a scrim at a lot of times in the day, but I really like the organized structure of other things. But I don't know what you guys think.
I mean, I definitely do like organized because then you can just do other stuff. You don't got to just wait around. I mean, you're gonna wait around anyways for like if you schedule a scrim for later, but you're probably gonna get someone by then instead of like add here scrim now. You have no idea. This is what happened like last week. Josh was like add here scrim now at like 7 p.m. in +1. Then he kept pinging for like 3 hours until he got a scrim. So yeah, I don't like doing that kind of thing.
Yeah, scheduling a scrim is way easier because like then I know like, oh, we're playing at this set time, so and I started school recently, so like I can just do my schoolwork or like I can play Valorant in the meantime. I can eat, do whatever I want. It's just way easier like that. I mean, who wants to just keep searching for a scrim? Like, I mean, maybe it's worth JP scrimming, right? But then again, in the end, like you're rejected like 20 times. It happened to me before. Like I looked like 10 times, got rejected like every time. So, so it's just like it's just way easier scheduling a scrim because when it's at and like, oh, we're playing at this time. So,
do you guys want to talk anything else about like the other scenes? Because I feel like I've been leading a lot of this, but then I feel like you guys probably have a lot to say, especially on the Valorant part.
I guess like as you look at other actual esports titles, first of all, it's no secret Splatoon isn't an actual esports title, and frankly, probably not going to get there anytime soon. Yeah, shocking development, I know. But like Splatoon is very much like a grassroots sorts of a thing, and I think the difference outside of money, sponsors, etc. I mean, look at the production values of the kinds of things that we put together, and then look at what production teams do for League of Legends or Overwatch or Valorant, right? There's typically just so much more going on. There's so much more stats, which obviously we can't pull directly from the game, but maybe that's something that we need to start looking into. There's so much more in terms of just like other content, other ways to interact with players, starting to build up like players' stories, right, on the actual tournament broadcasts and things like that. A lot of times it's much easier to do on something like a league that's pretty consistent, has similar players over the course of multiple weeks. But there's so much more that, first of all, people can do when it's their actual jobs and not just like a hobby that we're doing in our free time. But like, I think that's one of the primary differences, right? Is looking at what kinds of things are actually being produced by Splatoon, and then looking at what kinds of things are actually being produced by other esports titles.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think a big team definitely makes a big difference. I also think that the thing about all of those games is a lot of them are designed with esports in mind, or they're designed with the features to become an esport in-game. For example, the stats come directly from in-game, or there's online, there's in-game voice chat, there's in-game this, there's in-game that. Whereas, of course, we like pretty much all of those things. Yeah, was there anything else you guys wanted to add, Sun or Power, about like other scenes, Valorant, or...
Nah. Okay.
Alright, on that note then, we're going to get some more scuffed action. I think we are going to move in to talk about the biggest thing from Twitter this week, definitely, by far, I'd say, the last 2 weeks. The legendary In the War. Oh! We did it, so can I just first say, I'm very proud of everyone that voted for Turf War. This is a... If we had a full tournament of tower control, I think I would have lost it. I think I would have lost my mind, so... yeah, I mean, are you guys... So, what did everyone vote for? I want to go around first. What did everyone else vote for? I voted Turf War. I was very vocal by it. I voted Turf.
Turf.
I didn't vote because I knew I wasn't going to be playing. So, like, not my choice.
Yeah.
I hate Turf War, but I voted for Turf War because I don't like tower control, and I'd rather paint the map than just ride the tower. So,
what would you have rather played, Son? What was your first choice?
My first choice was like, wow, do I just want to ride tower the whole game or just run around and paint the map? And I was like, wow. And I really thought about it because, like, as a support player now, I'm just sitting there on tower or sitting there in zone or just grabbing Rainmaker. It can get pretty boring. But I was like, wow, in Turf War, I can just run around painting and get kills with armor. It was like, whoa, holy. So,
what about,
would you rather have played Rainmaker or Clan Blitz? Nice water bottle, by the way.
Oh, yeah, thank you. I Rainmaker, not really. C-Jet is around. That's just annoying. Hate that weapon. Clan Blitz, it has its like, okay maps, but other than that, it's like trash.
So what I'm hearing is Sun is salty that he didn't get to play his zones tournament this month.
Kind of. I was like, wow. There's a lot of people that don't want to play Turf War, right? So I was like, wow, I should just announce Sayo Cup like maybe the week before. And I was like, wow, this is like, well, like I could do this, but then I got lazy.
That's unlucky.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, you can do that.
I did actually originally go for Clap. Oh, sorry, yeah.
We haven't even gotten Power's opinion yet, Ninja.
Oh,
like, calm down.
I don't really like Power that much, but yeah. Anyway,
what?
Sure, he can talk, okay. But I mean,
okay. Why'd you invite me then?
I got pressured into it by Kbot.
I forced him to invite you. Yeah, that is true.
Okay. I'm a turf baby all day.
Turf baby all day.
Yes, I love it.
Why do you want to play Turf War and specifically like in this fashion?
One, I don't think Europe's played it, and two, I liked playing turf in the WFB where they forced us to like play 8 maps, like what they thought was like the good turf maps, I guess. And I'm like, okay, it's actually not that bad. So I was hoping something like that would happen here. I don't know if we're gonna play like all maps or do the Splatfest maps. I don't know, but That's kind of what I was.
He did say no to
Not
Splatfest
Splatfest.
maps. Yeah,
he
it's
did
been
say no to
confirmed.
Splatfest.
Okay. Yeah.
But I imagine probably along the lines of in the zone, he'll probably keep all 23 maps open. Obviously, don't really know for sure. I'm not Sindo himself. But yeah, to me it was kind of interesting, but not entirely unexpected. Especially when we look at like the last result is it was pretty much a 50-50 split, or like 50.1 to 49.9% split of turf war versus tower control for like the final vote. And truthfully, with like all of the surveys and all of the data collection that I've done in the past, that in of itself is not surprising. There's actually half of the community right now that genuinely wants to see turf war played at a competitive level, and that's whether it's integrated in tournaments, whether it's own tournament, whatever. Like that 50% number pretty much always exists. The thing that's most interesting to me, and the reason why as a tournament organizer, I'm very hesitant to including or focusing on turf war, is because the other 50% genuinely just will not sign up for your tournament because it's turf war, right? Like they don't want to play turf war. They still think the mode is terrible, and like that's just the way it is. So I am curious to know exactly what registration numbers for In the War are going to look like this month, as opposed to previous, like in the zones, to see exactly, and who signs up too, right? Like, are there a lot of consistent teams? Are there a bunch of new teams? Is it just less teams in general? I'm curious to see exactly how that plays out as well.
I know a great way to get all the top teams to 100% sign up for this tournament.
Oh.
Just drop a nice little pot there. For the
Okay.
teams, you know?
Well,
I mean, we all like a small $10, don't we, guys?
$10,
Splatoon
yeah.
community.
I mean,
$10.
yeah, we will like it so much that we might get a new account, you know. But yeah. Regardless, I think I originally voted for Columbus. I would have loved seeing that, but I think the thing is that I would really like to see a turf war only tournament, because I think it'd be interesting. I think I might play in it. I honestly have no idea if I'm going to play in it or not yet, but I think it's nice, but I don't think I'd want to see turf war full time. I find the mode interesting, and I really like seeing it kind of, you know, every now and then seeing turf war and seeing how teams play in it, and seeing you know, who does well in turf war, and seeing how people play in turf war, seeing how bad we are at turf war compared to Japan. Because I'm not gonna lie, I think one reason I'm going to want to watch this is to see how bad we are at turf war, because I'm not going to lie, I don't think we're going to be good. But I think it's definitely interesting, but I don't think I'd want it to be in every tournament. I don't want to sign up for the next Inkstorm and have to play turf war in my, you know, grand finals match, which obviously I'm going to be in because I'm the best player in the world. So I'd much rather just dodge that mode in those tournaments, but I definitely like seeing it, and that's the main reason I voted for it. I feel like you enter 90% of tournaments, you play tower control. But you definitely cannot say the same about turf in any capacity.
Yeah.
So I guess like as we think about turf war, what are things that like whether they be weapons, strategies, specials, whatever, what are things that we might see in turf war? Like let's spend like a 10-minute, 5-minute, 10-minute brainstorm session here. What are things that we might see in turf war that we wouldn't see normally, right? Like, is there anything special that's going to come out? Because like at the end of the day, as I was watching a lot of the Premier League games, turf war is just splat zones, except it's only the interaction within the last 20 seconds that matters. Based on how a lot of the So yeah, what is going to come out in turf war?
Aerospray RG. I want to see the Aerospray RG. I love this one. I don't know. I just love, like, I think it's probably boring as hell to play. But I just love watching these little gold Aerosprays run around the map, painting the entire thing, just running away from each other, like dodging fights completely, winning games with 0 KA. Like, I don't know. But I think that sort of playstyle in general we will maybe see. I think that's what we should see if people want to win, but I don't know if that's how the Western Seed's actually going to play in practice.
Yeah, I mean, if there is like that actual, we want to win this tournament so hard, I think you might see like a bunch of burst chip damage weapons, like a mini splatling. Like we don't see that much here. I think it's pretty good for turf. There's Explosher too. There's like a little here, but that could be used too.
Sun, theory crafting, anything over there?
Well, like the more I like think about it, it's like, you know, obviously there's not a lot of mini splatling players, but obviously those who play like like not would probably make that transition, and those who play Charger, in my opinion, well, at least like in our scene, I guess, would play X Wash, unless like you're hardcore dedicated Splat Charger, one trick, whatever. But if you just like play backline in general, like I feel like you just play X Wash. Aerospray, honestly, in my opinion, really strong in Turf War. It's stupid, like with the RG, right, is like it has Booyah Bomb. It's annoying. Burst Bomb, Booyah Bomb, and like I feel like Armor's still really strong in Turf, so like you'd probably see like a junior over a Zap in this case, because you're just painting, right? So
I mean, the RG is actually the baller one, which is what we saw from Japan playing Koshin, which I was surprised at. I did not expect to see at all, but they were pretty much just farming baller, and they weren't using the baller when they got it. They just saved it for when someone went to fight them. So basically, they just used it to make sure they never had to fight anyone. That's literally how they played. They just ran around painting and made sure that they could always have a way to never fight someone. And then you had a team that won the game with double Aerospray RG, both getting 0 KA. Just by deliberately always avoiding fights and just painting the map. Which I think is probably extremely obnoxious to play. Imagine two little things just running around painting the entire map. As soon as you try and take them out, they just baller away.
Speaking of ballering away from sticky situations, Power is in the war going to be the tournament where the Kensa Charger rises to power.
I mean, I actually wasn't thinking about it, but now that you say it, I did use the Kensa Charger in the Turf War game in like the Japanese tournament, and now I think I might. Yeah, it's a good idea actually. Thanks for supporting the K Charger gang.
I don't really think it is a good idea, honestly.
Why is that? Why is that, Ninja?
Because why would you not just want to spam like Suction Rush on pretty much any of the maps? Where's the map that you don't want to spam either Suction Rush or Missiles and just play Bamboo or Firefin? Where are you trying to be like, oh yeah, I really want a baller right now on my Charger? I mean, I'm trying to think of a map. What'd you say?
Aggressive Charger, man.
Aggressive Charger? No, it's called Bamboo. And it's not even called Bamboo. It's Turf War. Don't play aggressive Charger. It's Turf War. Like, what are you doing? I can't stand you kids. I can't stand you kids. The worst part is, you know what? I scrim with User a lot, and we let him play K Charger on like a couple of maps. And it's not even like the stupid like zones maps or the clan blitz maps we want to paint zone. It's on tower, and the reason is we're just sitting User on tower while we play like Ink Rush +2 frontlines, and we're just running off trying to spawn camp and User just alone. So then as soon as someone rushes him, he just pops baller and we just run and help him. You know, like he just he pops baller, hides for as long as he can, while we just run back to help him and keep him alive. And then we go like spawn camping, you know, because we don't want to help him out normally. But then you kids are trying to, I don't know, play baller on zones, like.
Yeah, I don't know about that one, but Turf War, I can see it.
No, if I see you play K Charger in the war, I'm actually gonna mold. I'm gonna lose my brain.
We'll have to see. We will have to see what happens. Something I know I'm gonna be watching out for. Should be fun to watch. Definitely should be fun to watch. Any other thoughts on in the war in general, or anything relating to Turf War?
All right, I think that's all the Turf War.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we're Turf War out. So, ooh, I think that just brings us to the best segment in the entire show. Then, if I'm not wrong.
Oh boy, here we go. Here we go.
All right.
Sits on his high horse and thinks he's the best person in the community.
This is the best segment, everyone. It's Matt's Player of the Week.
Please note, by the way, I continue to try to get him to call it the player of the episode, and he refuses to listen to me.
Player of the Week sounds so much better.
But you don't have a player every week.
So, I actually had
a player of the week implies you have a player every week.
I had a few candidates for this one. I'm not gonna lie, because that was like, at first I had like no candidates, and then they all came at once. So I first want to know. Okay, so I'm gonna ask this every time. If you guys had a player of the week, who would it be? I want to ask you guys.
I don't think I have anyone.
You don't have a player of the week, really?
I don't really think I do. I mean, the takeaway answer, like the scapegoat, is anyone who votes me as a thumbs up or +2 voting this time around. I actually do not care. But yeah, I got nothing.
You guys don't have players of the week at all.
So
I
for
did
what
not
it's
know.
worth, as a reminder, Matt's player of the week is most of the time someone who makes him laugh on Twitter and not like an actual person who's performing well in the game. So,
Okay.
who made you laugh on Twitter this week?
Okay, it wasn't actually laughing on Twitter. First, I'm gonna give a
Okay.
special shout out to the person who didn't make Player of the Week, but was my honorary Player of the Week, my second place. You know, I've got what you call it. But either way, Kyo was so close to being my Player of the Week before something happened. He was so close, and Kyo was gonna be my Player of the Week for the reasoning of Kyo being Player of the Week. Right. I didn't. This isn't a roast EGTV, but out viewing EGTV's official stream with his hype on Inner Zones. I'm so, no,
Alright.
that wasn't a roast. But did you see the hype?
Here.
Did you see the hype of watching FD Win go like 3-2, 3-2, and then everyone was like, "All right, who cares about an official stream when you can just watch Kyo get hype?" So that was gonna be my honorary Player of the Week. But no, that's not gonna be my Player of the Week. Let's go more importantly on to who it is. It's gonna be you. It's you at home who voted for Turf War. Everyone who voted for Turf War this week in Sendu's in the in those Turf War versus in the control poll, you are my Player of the Week at home. You right there. You're my Player of the Week if you voted for Turf War versus Tower Control. So yes, that does mean you are my Player of the Week, Sun, and Power also, but not Kbot. But yeah, you guys are joining 1,200 people as my Player of the Week. So I hope you guys don't mind sharing the Week 2 trophy. But yeah,
What am I looking at in terms of on the stream right now?
it's like Pog U.
Actually, just what am I looking at?
It's like Pog U, but it's Turf War. And then, you know, because it's everyone at home. You are my Player of the Week at home.
Unbelievable.
Do you not like this? Do you not think this?
Meme of a show.
Do you not
What
think
a
this?
meme of a show,
Do you not think
to be
this is a good Player of the Week?
I'm not gonna say. Look, it's Matt's player of the week, so it realistically doesn't matter what my opinions on it are. All I'm saying is your memes need work, my friend.
Memes need work. I don't even know.
If you think this is funny,
It's not even funny. I'm just like giving a shout out. It's like a shout out. It's less of a Player of the Week and more of a shout out. And my special shout out goes out to everyone who voted Turf War. So yeah, I mean, what can I say? I can't help it. I can't help it really.
We appreciate
right
it.
then.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem, guys. I hope you guys enjoy the trophy and everyone and the other 1,200 people. But I think that's with that wonderful ending, I think that will probably wrap it up for this week. Unless there's anything you guys want to quickly slot in. But yeah, I mean, before we head off, do you guys want to put your plugs? Say what you want to say. I don't know.
You can follow me on Twitter, power_SPL2, I think. And Twitch, I usually stream, I mean, you guys probably know, like 8 p.m. at nighttime for East Coast. Real Power, not the fake one.
Yeah, he's striving for elite and out of the box gameplay.
I actually changed that, by the way.
Wait, you did?
I actually changed that description.
Oh, that upsets me.
You hate to see that.
Yeah, Son, anything you want to say before we head up?
Please follow me on Twitter, and if you're into Valorant, I'll be streaming soon. It's a diamond, so yeah, it'd be nice if you stop by at Fighting Taeyang.
Hey,
on
what's
Twitch.
the deal with the Taeyang fan club? What's up with that?
Dude, like, I don't know. Like, I woke up one day and I got on Twitter and I got a follow from Sun and 52 others. And I was like, wow, that saved my life. So Sun and 52 others followed me. And I click on it and it's just the count name is Sun and 52 others. Like, what the like, no way, man.
Oh, good.
I got that follow too.
Yeah,
which was pretty fun.
I mean, Kbot, do you have anything to plug this week? Do you have any tournaments that you're going to be running that you need people to sign up for?
Sign up for the NA Open if you haven't already. Please make my job easier and don't wait until the last minute to sign up. Please do that sometime over the course of the day tomorrow. Also, if you're looking to try to prove yourself for seeding, please sign up for Saturday Morning Coffee as well. Saturday Morning Coffee and Unnamed Tournament are both 2 tournaments that are happening tomorrow. More information on SMC can be found at discord.io/SMCsplat. And more info about Unnamed Tournament can be found at IPL Splatoon. Something we didn't get to talk about today. I want to give a shout out to the guys over there at Inkling Performance Labs as well for their announcement this week. And yeah, sign up for tournaments, please, and make my seeding job a little bit more easier if you can for Sunday. Other than that, stay tuned to future Splatoon stuff on Nintendo Versus because that'll also be coming. And tune into the broadcast. We won't be doing another podcast next week, so tune in to Top 4 on Sunday the 13th for the NA Open.
Yeah, I think that about rounds up. All I ask is that you guys come back for the next Talk Speed Up in a couple of weeks. The next Talk Speed Up in a couple of weeks, not in the. What are you looking at me that for?
What is this, like, in the mic or something? Like,
no, okay. All I ask is that you guys turn up for the next Talk Speed Up, which is going to be in a couple of weeks. But yeah, I mean, thanks for watching, guys. I think we're all done. Thanks for coming along, Power, Sun, and thanks for making it work, Kbot, out there with your umbrella in your campus. So you made it work despite the situation. But yeah,
damn right.
Unless you guys have anything to say, that's going to be all. But all right, I'll be heading off then. Thanks for watching, guys, and we will
take care, everybody.
see you next time.